Listen to that silence. In a world screaming to be heard, silence has become the most radical choice, the most powerful stance. We've been taught that volume equals value, that the loudest voice in the room is the most important, that dominance is noise and silence is surrender. But what if everything you've been taught is backwards? What if the need to be loud is actually the greatest admission of fear? The fear of being insignificant, overlooked, forgotten. True power isn't declared. It's demonstrated through a calm so profound it commands attention without asking for it. Over the next hour, we will dismantle the myth of loudness. We will explore why the deepest minds in history chose quiet over chaos, and how you can cultivate a presence that doesn't need to announce itself to be felt. If you're ready to exchange the exhausting performance of loudness for the unshakable strength of quiet confidence, you're in the right place. This is Mind Armor. Let's begin. Part 1. The deconstruction of noise. We grow up believing volume equals value, that the loudest voice wins, that dominance is noise and silence is defeat. It's a narrative sold to us by every reality show, every heated debate, every social media platform designed to reward the most extreme takes. We're conditioned to believe that if we aren't shouting, we're losing. But the truth is quieter and far more profound. Being loud doesn't make you powerful, it makes you predictable. It makes you smaller. Because the compulsive need to be heard, to have the last word, to dominate the conversation, it almost always comes from a deep-seated fear of being forgotten, of being irrelevant. Stay until the end, because once you truly grasp this, you'll stop shouting for validation and start moving with the quiet, unshakable certainty of real power. Think about the figures who truly changed the course of human understanding. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Lao Tzu. They didn't scream to be known. They didn't fight for stage time. Their power was in their perception, their restraint, their depth. Their silence has carried their influence further and longer than any shout ever could. Noise is reaction. It's a response to an external trigger. An insult, a challenge, a perceived slight. Silence, true silence, is control. It is the conscious choice not to react, to conserve your energy, to respond from a place of choice, not compulsion. When you're loud, you're seeking control outside yourself, over what people think, over the narrative, over the room. When you're calm, you are mastering control within, over your impulses, your emotions, your inner state. That is the foundational Stoic way. I want you to press pause. This is your first call to action. Think of the last time you felt compelled to raise your voice, to interrupt, to prove a point. What was the fear underneath that compulsion? Were you afraid of being seen as weak, uninformed, powerless? Just sit with that question. Welcome back. Part 2. The psychology of restraint. Let's imagine two fires. One is a bonfire of dry leaves and twigs. It ignites instantly, roaring, sparks flying everywhere. It's dramatic, impressive, but it consumes its fuel in minutes and collapses into ash. The other is a deep bed of hardwood coals. It burns slow, steady, intense, providing lasting warmth and light long after the bonfire has faded. That second flame is the power of restraint, the power of focused, sustained energy. If this distinction hits something deep within you, if you recognize the exhausting cycle of the bonfire in your own life, then I want you to take a deliberate action. This is your second call to action. Press the like button, but do not do it mindlessly. Let your thumb pressing down be a physical affirmation, a quiet nod to yourself that you choose the lasting power of the coal over the brief spectacle of the spark. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." Consider this. Freedom does not begin with a shout, but with a quiet refusal. Freedom begins the moment you stop letting your need to be seen enslave you to the opinions of others. Because the louder you are, the more you inadvertently reveal what you lack, what you're trying to compensate for. When you are whole, when your sense of self is built on an internal foundation of purpose and principle, you don't need to shout, you radiate. Your presence is felt not because of decibels, but because of density. You have gravity. Part 3. The practice of quiet dominance. So, how do we practice this? It begins with a simple but profound shift in your approach to interaction. Loudness fights for space. It is an aggressive occupation of auditory territory. Silence, conversely, creates space. It allows for thought, for reflection, for genuine connection. It is an invitation, not an invasion. In a world psychologically and economically addicted to attention, intentional silence becomes a rare luxury. And in the economy of human value, rare things always carry the highest price. This brings us to your most important call to action. I want you to go to the comments. Before you forget, before the world pulls you back into the noise, I want you to type these 3 words: power in calm. Let this be your reminder and a signal to others in our community that stillness is not weakness. It is a form of invisible dominance. It is the ultimate strategic advantage in a distracted world. So, from this moment forward, make the conscious choice. Stop trying to prove you're big by being loud. Grow so deep, so rooted in your purpose and your practice that the surface noise simply can't reach you. Because the higher your mind rises, the quieter it becomes. The summit is always silent.